Hey everybody, welcome back to another House Church video. It is an up week and we have been doing the Back to Basics series, and last week's message was on one-touch healings. So if you had a chance to watch the message on Sunday, I was talking about people who might need healing in the service, and you could be that person right now, needing healing for your body. And I also talked about people needing healing for their thoughts, what things that they're believing about healing, which is not allowing them to be healers in the world, not allowing them to enter into this ministry that Jesus has for us to be healers in the world. And so which area do you need healing in today? That's the question. Which area do you need healing in today? Do you need physical healing, or do you need some healing from your thoughts so you can move into this ministry that Jesus has called us into? My light bulb for me as I prepared the message was realizing that healing is not simply a faith issue, but a discipleship issue. And I used an example about how we first received our salvation or forgiveness from God versus how we understand healing. So the example was that when you got saved and when you got forgiven, somebody probably came alongside you and you were in a tough spot and they introduced Jesus into your life. And you came to know that, wow, I messed up and Jesus is willing to forgive me. God's willing to forgive me my mess, and I can enter into this new life with him. And you did that. You probably prayed a prayer for Jesus to come into your heart. And maybe that was your parents, or maybe it was somebody alongside of you, an older adult doing that, or somebody who's a little bit further than you, and they did that with you. And then maybe the next week you sinned, and then you wondered if you're going to hell, and you were worried, and you lost all that peace that you had. But this disciple came along and they remind you, no, nothing's changed. Like, it's still true. What Jesus did on the cross is still true. And that became true for you again. And then a month later, you sinned again, and you thought, oh no, am I really changed? And what was happening is that this person in your life was discipling this experience and helping you see that your feelings weren't necessarily true, but rather that what God had done for you is true. And over time, eventually, this head knowledge of what Jesus has done for you actually got inside your heart. And when you sinned again, you didn't realize like you're kicked out of the family. You realize that actually you're safe and secure in God's arms because that's his promise for you. That's how we came into the fullness and maturity of understanding our salvation. But for many of us, we've had a healing experience where something hasn't worked out the way we thought. But we haven't had a disciple to come alongside us and help us through those experiences. We haven't had somebody to come alongside us and help to continue to change how we think about things that we've lost and grow our beliefs about healing into a more mature belief. So this happens in the discipleship process. I shared the story about my grandpa helping me in that. And the truth about how we get our head knowledge into our hearts is through relationship. So that's my light bulb for this series, was really finding out that it's people around us, discipling us through our experiences, that helps our head knowledge get inside our hearts. So that leads us to the arrow, which really then is, if that's how we get the knowledge inside of our hearts to be true, then my question about healing is, who can be a mentor for you? Who is somebody who is going and moving in this ministry of healing and walking with Jesus, and they're seeing healing happen, and maybe they could come alongside you. Maybe they could help you get some of your thoughts healed. Maybe they can help to see healing in your own life. Maybe they can mentor you and you can see healing happen as you pray for people. And so that's my arrow. My conviction is like, who can be that person for you? On Sunday, I mentioned a few ways you could do that. It might be somebody in the church that is already, you see, is moving in this healing ministry. Maybe you could call them, reach out, or text them and say, hey, can we go for a coffee? That might be a great first step in this process of finding a mentor and being discipled into the healing ministry. Well, that's it for the House Church video. That's the question mark, that's the light bulb, that's the arrow. So glad to have this opportunity to share this with you. Spend time today, because it's an up week, praying for somebody who doesn't know Jesus, who's in your life, a relationship that matters to you. Take a little bit of time to do that today.